Welcome to this week's review video of the one and only SIRUI Anamorphic lenses. I am so excited to share my thoughts, both the good, the bad, as well as who this lens is for. Without further ado, let's dive on in. Alright y'all, this right here is the SIRUI Anamorphic 35mm lens T2.9 1.6 crop factor, or anamorphic factor here. So let's go ahead and dive into my review of these lenses. Now, first and foremost, talking about the overall build quality, look and feel. Love these lenses. Now, again, I shot a recent documentary project with an incredible individual named Marley Hightower using the 35mm and the 75mm. The first thing is I'm just really impressed with the build quality. Now, price we'll get into more later in the video, but especially given the price on this baby, the build factor is really nice. It feels durable, feels reliable, strong, and just like an industry standard cinema lens, it has beautiful ring threads here. So you've got your ring thread for aperture and for focus, and they are just beautiful. We've done some focus pulling with these, as well as obviously just the manual focusing. Just really enjoyed these. Really nice. Now, talking about in general, who are anamorphic lenses for? Well, first and foremost, these are lenses for video only. Now, you can use these for photography if you want, but that's really only for very limited creative situations. This is really catered towards storytelling, therefore video content. And building on top of that, this is really catered towards horizontal filming. So if you are someone who is interested in doing horizontal filmmaking, if you're not just making vertical content, then this could be a great lens for you. But again, we'll dive more into the positives and negatives as we continue throughout this video. Now, talking about the overall limitations of anamorphic, right? So let's put the brand aside here and just talk about anamorphic in general, right? So we have the creative limitations of this is really only catered for video. Additionally, there are the limitations with anamorphic that it is really only meant for horizontal filming. Now, there is a major crop factor or distortion factor here with the bowing on the rims and the edges of the image, as well as just generally with anamorphic lenses, we have that really large stretch factor. So keeping that in mind, this isn't really meant for vertical video. It's really only meant for horizontal. And additionally, with anamorphic lenses, or again, cinema lenses in general, there isn't autofocus. There is manually focusing. So you are stuck focusing on your own, or again, you may have to hire someone out to do some focus pulling for you. Now, looking at SIRUI and their lens lineup. So there's a couple things that, bothered me a little bit. So number one, first and foremost, I think, is the distance for focus. So with this 35 here, you have a minimum focus distance of about 3 feet. So, you're looking at about this far of distance, like that's as close as you can get to your subject. And for me, I love getting close-up shots and I love getting detail. And that's part of what I love about using wide lenses and having a really wide field of view, is I want to get up and close and personal so people can see the animations, the detail, the tonality, everything like in their facial expressions, but I still want people to see the environment, see where they're at, what's going on in the world, right? Like allow them to still exist in there. Secondly, and this kind of builds on top of that, is the lack of bokeh. So because you're not able to get closer to your subjects and keep them in focus, you're not able to get really strong bokeh. And that's one of the big things with anamorphic lenses, is you get more of a spherical or oval shaped, kind of like a upside or like a flipped cat's eye, if you will. Whereas when you shoot with a standard DSLR lens or something of that nature, the bokeh that you're getting is more like a circle, and it's just totally different. So it's nice being able to get that different style, right? That's part of one of the reasons why you use anamorphic lenses. And unfortunately, we weren't just really able to see too much of that. Building on top of that, because you're not able to get close, you're not able to get really, really strong and big bokeh. Again, something that I love to have. I think one of the things that makes images really, really beautiful, portrait images that is, but unfortunately, you're not going to get that as much with these. Lastly and finally, this is also a positive though. So my last negative is, it's actually somewhat difficult to get the light streaks, right? So this is like the biggest thing. I feel that most content creators coming up, they get pulled into anamorphic lenses. They learn about the light leaks and getting that anamorphic look, right? And so it was difficult to get that unless I was, pointing towards a really hard and strong source, or if I had, really directionally right into the lens. That was the last kind of disadvantage, if you will, of the lens. Now, let's jump into the positives, right? So lots and lots of positives. Number one, the price. This is around $1,500. And yeah, I know, let me stop you right there. $1,500 may sound like a lot of money to you, but when you compare it to industry standard, most anamorphic lenses, you're paying about 3 to 4 times that value. So you're looking at about $6,000 for one lens, whereas you could spend that money or a little bit less and get a 3 lens kit. You could get a 35, a 75, and a 100. However, I would state, especially with anamorphic lenses, I don't think that's necessary, but just trying to get the point across that these things are extremely affordable. The cost of entry to get these is so bare minimum, guys. And building on top of that, one of the biggest advantages of this is you're getting an extremely incredible lens, and that lens provides an extremely beautiful image for only $1,500. And so you are able to create extremely moving and captivating, and I hate to say it, but quote unquote cinematic images and movies. And that's what I just really loved is, filming this last documentary project. This was my first documentary shooting all in anamorphic, and I kind of never want to go back. Like, it just looks so beautiful. I'm so happy with the images. Just so crisp, so clean. And again, it just has that look that you just can't repeat with a standard lens. And those are my overall big positives, And so do the positives outweigh the negatives? For myself, for someone that is, a documentary filmmaker, someone who's very passionate about really any line of narrative work, right? So TV shows, films, again, documentaries. This is like perfect for me, right? So if you are a storyteller or an aspiring storyteller, right, you're trying to create films or documentaries, I highly recommend these lenses. I believe they are absolutely incredible lenses and will do a lot for you. If you are only shooting vertical content, right, you're really just focused on vertical content for social media, this might not be the right lens for you. It is something that you could maybe pick up if you're looking to dabble into more longer form content, more storytelling, more horizontal based content. But if that's not the case, then I'm not sure this lens is for you. And overall, again, guys, those are my thoughts and perspective on the SIRUI lenses. All right, y'all, and that is it for this week's video and review of the SIRUI Anamorphic lenses. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, I definitely think you should. Come join the adventure. I'm dropping new videos each and every week, new, fresh, and exciting content, sharing my thoughts and reviews. We've got behind the scenes breakdowns, cinematography breakdowns, where I'm explaining the cameras we use, the lenses, the light, how we set it up, planned it, storyboarded it, etc. So again, if you're an aspiring filmmaker and content creator and you want to grow and improve, master your mindset, and build and scale that business, I'd love to help you do so. So reach out to me, talk to me, and be sure to follow the channel here. I'll see you on the next one.